Hey, what's up guys? Normally I showcase the S3 or whatever at the start of these videos. Not doing that here because we're doing 3 characters in one video. So we're going to knock this out real quick. I'll give my thoughts. If you're limited on the resources, I'll give you my recommendations. All that in this video. So let's get going. First we got Rimuru. I'm not familiar with the series. I mean, I've seen it before. I've seen it in ads before, but I've never actually watched it myself. I like anime, but I can never find the time to actually sit down and watch it. Or sit down and read manga. My attention span is really short. I really don't like reading at all. I never have. And like that even spans over to reading subtitles. Usually if I'm watching something, I'm doing something else. So I can't just sit down and watch something so that makes anime a little difficult for me to watch sometimes, unless it's something I'm really invested into, like when Dragon Ball Super was airing for the first time. But yeah. So we're going to take a look at his base stats here. He's an Earth Warrior Libra. Same base stats as, I believe, Lilibet, Luna, for example, right? Which is very good bruiser stats. His base speed isn't complete trash. It's, okay, but he's got decent health, decent attack, decent defense. No extra crit, no extra crit damage. That's why those other stats are also high. An ER release, which is pretty good. For stacking with Maid and etc. Attack imprint concentration, which is pretty good. Don't think you'll necessarily need that, but yeah. Moving forward here, so we have his skill 2. I believe this is after attacking with non-basic skill. So basically this is after he uses his S3, right? That's how that reads. He copies 2 buffs when the target is buffed, regardless of whether the attack hits, and grants their effect to all allies. So if it misses, he still steals the buffs and gives them to his allies, right? This effect is not applied to undispellable buffs, so like Corvus's buff, possession from ML Celine, the buff that ML Quadzu gives himself. He can't steal those, just like the normal buffs, right? An ally is attacked by a buffed enemy, activates Be Ready against the attacker, can only be activated once every 3 turns. So basically, this part is separate, right? Copies 2 buffs, target is buffed. So when he uses his S3, he copies, right? And then he also can use this Be Ready here when he's hit by a buffed enemy. Okay, so it's like 2 different things in here. What's doing damage? Okay, this doesn't make sense to me. Oh, quickly approaches the enemy and attacks. That's what it is. This increases the damage of the Be Ready part. So the activation part when you're hit. So you counterattack. Right? I'm reading that correctly? And then he gains CR. So when he gets hit, he counters. This increases the damage of this counter. And it increases his combat radius by 30%. Steals 2 buffs from whoever hit him. And then after he uses his S3, he does 2 buff steal again. Right? See, this is such a confusing ability, dude. They release the most confusing shit now. You have to sit here and analyze the text to make sure you see what it says. So he won't steal buffs when he uses this. Basically, so whenever he can only activate this when he gets hit by a buff. It's got 3-turn cooldown, and this is the top part when he uses his S3. Okay. Fucking weird, man.
공격자에게 각오해를 사용합니다. 세 턴에 한 번만 발생합니다. 각오해는 적에게 빠르게 접근하여
So yeah, it's got a little counterattack. And then he goes in at skill 3. Attacks enemy with Black Flame. This skill actually looks really sick. A successful attack will inflict 5,000 additional fixed damage to the target. Fixed damage increases proportional to the number of buffs granted to all allies, up to a maximum of 10,000 fixed damage. So I believe 8 buffs, it does max damage. That's what I heard. Still unsure on how this interaction works, because I think it says successful attack will inflict. A miss doesn't sound like a successful attack to me. So this is to be determined on how good this is, right? A target is buffed. It decreases defense of all enemies for 2 turns, sorry. Unaffected by elemental disadvantage, which is good. So he can hit ice units. I mean, there's no counter ice unit that I can think of, or any evasion counter unit. So he can, oh wait, he's earth. So fire unit. Dude, I'm sorry. I'm sleeping. He's fire would be good in him, right? So what fire unit? Maybe it's so that he isn't completely shit on by Milim. Because I know Milim is a counter unit. So maybe it's so he can actually hit her. Maybe that's what it is. And then HU Fiend, maybe. I don't know. Weird kit. So, attacks enemy with Black Flame. So, does this steal the buffs as he... After attacking with non-basic skill, copies 2 buffs. So, I think you need the buffs before you can use this. Based on how this is read. Because it says after attacking. So, that means you won't steal the buffs until after this goes off, right? So you have to have buffs on outside of that, like FCC and immunity or something, for this to do more damage. Because he steals the buffs after. Okay, that's what that reads like. It's a weird kit. He seems like he's pretty good, though. Let's do this S3 real quick.
상태라면 적 전체에 2턴간
I like how they're showing it in these
발생시킵니다.
NPCs.
불리한 속성의 영향을
Sick
받지
animation.
않습니다. 또한 소울
like a
10개
single
사용
target.
시 해당 스킬 쿨타임이
Oh, it's 10 soul. This is good. 5 turn cooldown, probably down to 4. 2 turn cooldown with a 10 soul burn. That's pretty good. Pretty good. You might see this guy in cleave. It's possible, like in that single target cleave. Might be pretty good there. S1 random buff to caster for 1 turn. Immunity, crit resistance, effect resistance. In a slower draft, I think these buffs help a little bit. Like if you get an effect resistance buff and you're paired with Maid Carmen,
공격하고
you're gonna have like over 100 ER with literally having no stats in it, right? So that's okay. Getting free immunity is nice. Attack buff is nice, but you're probably gonna have it from other sources. And crit resist buff is just kind of nice, right? Kind of reinforces the bruiser slow playstyle, but he's an interesting unit. And then his artifact, I think his artifact's pretty good. I kind of want to try this artifact on A Ravi. It sucks that it's a limited artifact and you have to pull a bunch of them, right? Because this is another one of those, you gotta max limit break it for it to be consistent. Yeah, I think he's a good unit. I don't know how he's gonna be used, or how to build him. This is really just like initial thoughts, right? I might dive deeper into the characters if I'm trying to, like, maybe if I'm just doing a specific video for this, just this one unit, then, you know, I'd go more in depth. But I'm gonna go over to Milim now and just kind of look at her a little bit, so I know she was right over here. So let's go ahead and skip forward to her base stat. She's a mage, with crazy stats, with dual attack release. This unit's something, okay? Just on paper. So we have her skill 2, Dragon Eye. I believe this is a passive too, right? Let me go back and double check. Yeah, it seems like all the really good units have passive S2s now. Yeah, because it's less, like they affect it. Like the reason passives are so good is because the unit effectively does more with less turns, right? If you have a skill 1, skill 2, skill 3 active ability, then you have a unit like Euphine, right? How much do you see Euphine? Sermia, or, you know, whatever. Sermia grants herself an extra turn, so she's just not really considered in that as much. But like, if you look at most of the really good units these days, they have a skill 1, a passive, and a skill 3. Landy, Rim, Violet gives him extra turn, basically a passive, right? Carrot, skill 1, skill 3. A Ravi, regular Ravi, Charlotte, LQC, right? You guys get the drift where I'm getting at? Maid Chloe, skill, like, Amelia's different because she cycles kind of fast, right? But passives are basically on every meta unit. Strays is kind of an exception. Like Acid has it. Rand gives himself an extra turn. So it's either like you give yourself an extra turn, or you're basically just like losing value in the unit because you have to take more turns to do more things. Whereas units with passives, they're contributing more to your team at once. That's why they're better characters. Hopefully that makes sense. But yeah, she's got good base stats. Let's just go ahead and go forward here. Start of the turn, 70% chance to grant start of the battle and at the end of her turn. I'm assuming this goes up to 100%, right? Yeah, goes up to 100. So she gets Dragon Eye, which is this. Increases hit chance and evasion by 20%. Can't be dispelled. So She gives herself evasion, and she gets hit chance, which is very good into Violet, right? They see evasion as a problem. Violet is a problem, so this is their answer, right, to Violet and Landy. Because Landy's a problem, too, whether people want to admit it or not. Guiding Light is a problem. I fucking hate that unit. And, like, this is my savior. I will plus 15 her so fast. I'm going to plus 15 this unit so fast. Like, my head's going to fucking spin. Yeah, she dispels stealth, so fuck Landy. There's a lot of stealth in the meta right now, even like Ice Kisei and Kisei can't stop this from happening with a reset. And if she's built Bruisery and she has evasion, like it's very risky going into this with Kisei in the first place. People aren't mentioning her as much as like a Kisei counter, but she does counter Kisei as well. Akali's not around as much. There's a lot of Guiding Light bullshit like Cerise. Not so much like Operator Cigarette and, Athletica and stuff like that holding Guiding Light. But Guiding Light is a bullshit artifact, and this is what they're releasing to kind of counter it. Something that just dispels stealth. I think she's very good. Just because of this passive. When focus is full after attacking, she activates this Dragon Buster ability, and then she removes 10 souls. Like, this unit's kit is beyond stacked.
밀림 I.
So,
전투 시작 시와 턴 종료 시 과정을 무시합니다. 또한 공격 후 집중이 최대라면 모두 소모하여 드래곤 버스터를 사용합니다. 드래곤 버스터는 압도적인 마력으로 적 전체를 공격하고
Yeah, so this is just her skill too. She's got an animated skill too. What the fuck? I just noticed that. And then we have skill 3. Release mana to attack the enemy.
3스킬.
Okay, which is Dragon Fear, release mana, inflicting extinction. So there's more like that's a fuck you to Maid Chloe, Arby, the new Celine that's coming out. A Ravi is very relevant in the meta right now. This unit is just basically a 1 unit answer to the whole meta, and this unit's coming out 3 days before RTA ends. So it's literally like I do these cringe, analogies every now and then, but imagine like you have like a chicken fight and it's like a chicken battle royale, right? And all the chickens are in there fighting each other, and you throw like a Rottweiler in with the chickens, and the Rottweiler literally just kills all of the chickens. Like, that's what this unit is on paper, okay? I don't know if it's actually going to be like that in practice, but that's what I see when I read this unit's skill kit, okay? And she gives herself evasion too. She's basically just like, she's like Rylot and Tomoka, and she dispels stealth, like in a bunch of units in one, right? And then she's a fire unit too, which is crazy because like there's not many ice units that are like crazy good counters except for Rim, right? SSB's pretty good, but I don't know how good SSB is going to be into this unit. She's still an evasion unit. Yeah, and she gives herself increased hit chance. So if you run her on like Symbol, for example, like she's going to be pretty good into blue units too. So this unit's insane. She might as well just be an ML, actually. Like, this unit's insane. When the enemy is not at least, damage, so she ignores the Arias too, so like Pavel's S3. Like, her kit is beyond stacked. This unit's disgusting. Like, if you have to pick between her or Rimuru, right? Get her. I might actually go in on her banner, dude. I like the other artifacts, but like her imprints aren't that crazy, but this unit's just fucking bonkers, dude.
자신에게 3턴간 회피 증가를 발생시킵니다. 대상이 엘리트.
It's crazy that her S2 has the hand-drawn animation and her S3 doesn't. So, yeah, and then we have her S1 here. She gives herself attack buff. Recovering health proportional damage dealt. So she gives herself healing too. And then you can soul burn her. So if you put her on book, you can give yourself attack buff too. So if you run her on Tagahells, you can use S1 into S3. I don't know if you want to do that. It's weird because she's a mage bruiser. So she can take advantage of using mage artifacts. But like, I don't think you absolutely need to run book on her. It's very weird how they designed her. The fact that she gives herself evasion, like you could build her fast and like soul burn into delete something, right? Like you could do that. Or you could build a bruisery and then have like a tankier artifact on her and play a longer game and take advantage of the fact that she has extinction, and in those slower matches they can't revive. This unit, there's so many different ways you can build her. Like you could go the counter route if you wanted to. Like she gives herself, she has the evasion there. You can go counter and then give herself attack buff, and going that way you could just put her on lifesteal. Looks like she's all single target, right? Attacks all enemies, overwhelming mana. How does she gain focus? That's something we need to look at. Acquire 2 focus from her S3 and 1 from her S1. Yeah, so you could actually run her on counter, I think, to gain focus, to get more value out of using her Dragon Buster, which removes souls. Does she just have Milim forever? Oh, for 1 turn. Oh, but it's every turn she takes, right? Start of the battle, and it can't be dispelled, right? Spell stealth from all enemies. So they can regain stealth if they're super fast. Keep that in mind. Doesn't make them not able to stealth at all. So maybe it doesn't work that great against Kisei, because she's going to have to take her turn to dispel the Kisei out of stealth. It looks like we're not going to do Shunna in this video. Her artifact, when the caster suffers non-critical hit, so her artifact on her might actually still be good. Because you don't have to run counter in that case. You just run her artifact. She has built-in evasion. And you could run her next to Fat Cat. And give her anti-crit. So there's ways you could take advantage of this. But it's only when the caster suffers. So it won't be like Elbrus, right? She has to get hit. Yeah, this is pretty good. Pretty good. I like Milim. I'm not going to do Shunna in this video, I guess. She's a free-to-play unit with a very weird kit. Her artifact is very weird as well. Generally, free units aren't that good, and she kind of attests to that. Yeah, I'm not really going to cover her. I'm sure tons of other YouTubers covered her. I care more about top-end PvP, even though I'm not super competitive anymore because I think the meta sucks. But I do enjoy RTA from time to time, right? So that's what I do now. I think Shunna is not good for RTA. And I don't think she's great in PvE because she sleeps. And she can't even use her S3 until she builds focus up anyways. So she's just kind of like not very good, right? But yeah, that's going to be it from me. And let me know what you guys think. Pull Milim. Like, comment, subscribe. And I'll catch you later. Peace. Fuck.